Hello everybody, old and new, it's your friendly neighborhood Kaifu here, and happy holidays! To give back to my community this holiday season, I've designed a cute and cool paper craft project that you can print and make all in the comfort of your own home, completely free of charge. The link is in my description, so download it and follow along. Although I do recommend watching at least the first minute or two of the video first before you do. Make one, make two, amass an army of Kaifus! Or, you could just make the one and display it on your shelf. No jars though, I swear, if you jarred the Kaifu. This project was made with different levels of crafties in mind. As someone who's never made a paper craft project myself, I made a Kaifu proof, so I believe you can do it too. I do, however, have a few tips that may help you along the way. Tip number 1, beware of the type of paper you're using. In the video, I used cardstock, however, if you have plain old printer paper at home, that's alright too, and it might even be easier to glue. You just need to be sure to be delicate when you're working with it, because a lot of creases and folds and inversions could happen when you're working with it. Cardstock isn't all sunshines and rainbows either though, since, as you'll see later in this video, the ink could rub off easily. Although I haven't had the patience to try it myself, you can try letting the paper dry overnight, or for at least 4 to 6 hours before working with it to ensure that the ink is fully dry before you touch it with your greasy little hands. You can also try using some sort of laminate to protect the ink, but you'll have to be wary about what kind of laminate you use since it'll affect the gluing process. Tip number 2, change your printer settings for optimal color. I have a laser printer and I didn't know for the longest time what was making my colors look so wonky, and I realized it was because I wasn't using the correct settings when I was printing. Make sure to change your paper type on both your printer and device you're printing from. In my case, I changed my settings from plain printer paper to intermediate weight 85 to 95 grams since I was using cardstock. Tip number 3, and the last tip I have for now, is print from your computer if you're having any problems with accurate color. I don't know why, but printing from my computer instead of my phone just gave me the most accurate color results, so I'm adding that tidbit just in case. But with that said, let's get on with the video. Voiceover Kaifu, let's go! Hello there everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to make this paper craft Kaifu. Look at this creature, 360 view of the creature. Yes, but be wary, the creature will attack you. I'ma eat ya! So first off, obviously, you have to print out your little Kaifu on the paper. I use cardstock, follow my instructions from before to print out correctly, because as you can see, I have a little bit of errors here. I forgot to mention, but also change your margins. The version I gave you shouldn't have this problem, but yeah. And then admire the handiwork of Kaifu. Yes, admire it. Look how lovely it is. And oh my god, epic transition. I'm so good at editing. And this is how all of your pieces should look like. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. So you cut around all of the edges on the headpiece, and then make sure to cut on those black lines for those little tabs, because we'll need to fold those little white tabs there, as you can see right there. And yeah, I am holding that headpiece for a little too long there. Okay, next, these pieces are a little self-explanatory, more self-explanatory to cut out. You just cut around the edges, and so is the clothing pieces. They are separate pieces, so make sure to cut them separately. Yours should hopefully not have a printing error, so yours should look like that, but flipped over. And then next, you have your arm piece and your torso piece, and then I'm showing the leg piece. You're supposed to cut it like this, cut out all the little things, just cut along the edges. Make sure not to cut the inside. And also, as you can see, there's a little bit of nuance here. It's a little bit angled. Make sure to have those angles. But if you forgot to, if you just cut it straight, that shouldn't matter either. And you do the same exact thing with the torso piece there. And again, be sure not to cut out the middle parts, because you're actually folding them, so don't cut them out, okay? And then the trickiest bit is the hair piece, because there's a lot of curves and angles you gotta cut around, but basically you cut around the hair piece like so, and then you have to make sure to cut along the black line on the top of the hair. And as for the side tabs, I have marked black lines and purple lines to cut along the black line if you want a more three-dimensional effect on your Kaifu. And now that we've cut our pieces out, we're moving on to gluing. I like to glue together the ears and the side ponytail first, because it allows them adequate time to dry while we're doing other things. So first of all, I'm grabbing that hair piece. I'm just liberally applying a lot of glue, and it's getting all over my table and count. This is actually my bedside table, so I gotta rub that glue off. But I like to employ what I've coined the double tack technique, which is you rub glue on both sides of the thing that you want to stick together, so you have optimal stickiness and tackiness. And you could feel free to use your finger like that, and then you stick it together simply like that. And another thing I didn't mention, which is a tip, is you can leave excess, especially when you're doing this part, and then cut around it after you finish gluing it together. That way you have a more cohesive piece together. So as you can see, I left a little bit at the bottom, at the tail end of the ponytail, to cut out right now. I'm gonna cut that out right now, right here, as you can see. It's a little off frame, I apologize. It's gonna happen a lot throughout the video because I'm an amateur when it comes to filming things like this, so please forgive me. But just like that, you have a more cohesive ponytail piece. Next, moving on to the ears, make sure to pair them together like this. That's how it's supposed to be, because it's mirrored, it's flipped. When you glue it together, it's supposed to look like a dish, like so. And don't worry about that blue sheet, it's gonna go away. I thought it was a good idea, it was not a good idea. Anyways, so just glue it together and you're gonna have a final product like this. Pretty self-explanatory. And once you're finished admiring your handiwork, make sure to chuck them off to the side, because you're not gonna need them now. Yippee! Now we're moving on to the torso and the legs. First off with the legs, so this is how you're gonna fold the piece. Along these vertical lines that you see here, you're gonna want to fold it inwardly so the white part's touching. I will demonstrate in just a moment here. Just fold along those lines. And as you can see, my ink is cracking a little bit. Again, follow the tips so this doesn't happen to your thing. Kaifu will show you what not to do for this project. But yeah, just squish them together like that. No need to use your nails unless you are maybe working with printer paper, in which case it's easier to use your nails to be able to crease it. But if you don't want such, you don't need such perfect creases either, so if you don't want to, you could just leave it as so. Just squeeze it a little bit with your fingies. Now we're folding over the white tabs. Just follow what I'm doing, and for the torso bits, you see how there's a little bit of bleeding onto the white. That was on purpose, so that you could fold it for optimal, what's it called? Seamless blending when you put the two pieces together. And sorry, I'm doing it off screen again. Come on, Kaifu, come back. Yeah, that's right. See that? I'm folding it more than I need to. For more seamless blending later when we stick the two pieces together. Okay, and now we're finished folding. Now that we're finished folding, we're gonna wanna, what is this Kaifu doing? What is this Diddy Blood doing? Now you flip over these two smallest pieces. That'll be handy later, and I'm just showing you how it's supposed to look when you put it together, and you're supposed to glue right over there. So yeah, liberally apply some glue and then align it and stick it together. Just like that for most satisfying results, baby. Yes, sir. As you'll see in a little bit here, I made a cutting error. So there's a bit missing on that foot, but if you're not like Kaifu and you cut it like a normal human being, it should be okay. Just follow the cutting lines. I don't know why I did not follow the cutting lines, but yeah, it's supposed to look like this. It's supposed to look nice and cohesive and wraps around perfectly like so. So just follow the cutting lines, it'll be fun. Now coming back to this piece, we will now be gluing the top together. So liberally apply some glue to that top bit there, and then after you're finished doing that, apply liberally to the two sides. We're back with the double tack technique, baby. That's right. And then afterwards, you're just gonna wanna press it together. I'm just removing some excess glue. Oopsies. Very messy project. For Kaifu at least. Because I don't like 3D crafts. I'm very impatient. And then you squish it together to keep it together. Just hold it there for a while, you know. Think some inside thoughts. Have a nice time. Put on a nice song. I don't know. Or you could just hold it there, admire the handiwork, and set it off to the side to dry. Now let's move on to the torso piece, and you're just gonna want to fold it just like the pants piece before. And you should get a final result that looks like this. And I'm just trying to show you what it looks like after you glue it together. So you just do the exact same thing with the pants. You glue that side tab right there, apply liberally, and then you stick it on to the other side while aligning it perfectly. Do you see how Kaifu drew such a snatched waist? I drew such a snatched waist for myself. It's because it looked wrong if it was just a blocky Minecraft thing. I wanted to give it some amount of dimension. Oh, here's another pro tip that Kaifu's showing you. You can stick your finger inside of there to hold it like that with your index and thumb. Don't be too overzealous though. 2 is a crowd. And so you don't want to stick 2 fingers in. And then just fold over your tabs like with the pants. It should fold over perfectly. And then you glue it on. If it doesn't fit perfectly, no worries. You can always cut the excess off with scissors, and then it should be able to be on there perfectly. So press that down at the top, and then you're gonna want to do the same thing at the bottom. Fold up your box, apply glue liberally, and then fold it over. Once you're finished, it should look something like this. Admire all the back details, the side snatch waist details, and also that little harness. What's it called? I forgot what that's called. Suspenders that I added in. Such detail, much wow. And you could also fill it in with a pen if your ink's crusted. Now, we are moving on to our jacket piece. So you're gonna want to fold over those dotted lines right there. Just follow whatever it is that you printed out, because again I had a little bit of a printing error, but if you fold along those dotted lines, it should be a-okay, should be perfection, baby. Yes sir. And once you finish, you should have something that looks like this, 2 pieces just like that, and you're gonna want to grab your back piece, and what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna crease it a little bit and glue it onto the side pieces that we just folded. So put glue on those little tabs over there. I found that you don't necessarily need the double tack technique for this bit, but you can always do it whenever. Don't be afraid to employ the double tack technique. So just stick it on that side right over there, and you just want to crease it a little bit as you go, and make sure to hold it there so it doesn't slip off. Then once you're finished, it should look something like this. You can see that crease over there, right? That means it's a-okay. That's beautiful, baby. You're doing great. You're doing great. And this is the back side if you want to see what it looks like there. And now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and we should have a nice little jacket that looks like that. Hopefully yours doesn't have a printing error to it. Now we're gonna set it off to the side. Set this thing off to the side. Yeah, baby. Next, we're gonna bring back our torso and leg pieces, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna stick it together like that, just like that, baby. And then you can just, it stands up now. Well, if you don't knock it over. Yeah, it stands up! Now we're gonna want to bring back our jacket piece, because now we're gonna attach it to the torso. Yeah! So it's gonna stick on top of the torso piece, so you're gonna want to apply glue to the bottom of that tab, so then you can slip it onto that torso. And this is where you can have a little bit of creative liberty here. I like it to hang off a little bit. I'll make sure to align it so it's not sticking out of your torso. Make it so that it aligns with that bit. But if you don't like there's a little bit of hanging, you can always cut that piece off or cut a little sliver off so that it fits perfectly. I like the effect of the overhang effect. But if you don't like it, again, feel free to do whatever you want. It's your Kaifu now. You're in control. And see, it was a sticky well, so employ the double check technique. It's gonna work beautifully. Yes, it will. And it's not gonna stand up. It stands up well, I swear, I swear. Now, after we finish applying that, you're gonna want to apply the little tabs. Again, this is another thing of creative freedom. If you like it to be a little more loose on the body, that is completely fine. Feel free to even snip off those tabs, but I like it to be closer to the body. That's just a personal preference, so I'm gonna glue it on. And this is another thing of creative control. Wow, this jacket is just so creative. You can either leave it like that, you can leave it straight, or you can add a little bend to it for some more dimension. Again, personally, I like bending it, but feel free to do whatever. I have employed both techniques and they still stand up in the end, so if you're worried about that, fret not, it will not do anything. naughty naughty glue stick in Kaifu's way. And look at that, we have a completed torso. And you can even look up Kaifu's, but what are you doing? Naughty, naughty, Hume, don't do that! Now we're moving on to the arm piece. The arm piece is the easiest by far in this entire project. You just need to crease along those lines and you'll be golden. Going up, 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 top, up, sorry. Then once you're done folding the arms, you're gonna want to glue it on top of this thing. I like just liberally spreading some glue on top of the thing and then a little bit on the bottom of the arms because it's a lot less surface area there. That's why I apply more glue onto the thing we're actually sticking it on. So you're gonna want to orientate it so that the little thumb is sticking forward. It's forward in the orientation of the doll, and then you just simply stick it on, and then you have a nice little Kaifu torso. Then going back to the head. Okay, this is the trickiest bit, most nuanced bit of this entire project. So just look at what Kaifu's doing on the screen. First of all, this is the easiest part of the entire thing. It's just to fold over these tabs. All of these tabs are going inwards because they are going to be hidden at the end of the day. So yes, don't be afraid also, just like the torso, to give a little what am I trying to say? Go a little overboard when creasing, that way you hide the white tabs as much as possible. It's not so much of a problem for the hair bit because it's supposed to be quote-unquote white anyways, but when it comes to the black bits, it is a little better to just over crease a little bit. Not too much though. Make sure you're not doing it too much. And after you finish folding over all the tabs, make sure to fold along the dotted lines as well. So look at what Kaifu's doing here. I'm folding inwards. And you don't need to crease it super duper hard on the head over here. It's not super important. And then I didn't draw it, but you're gonna want to crease over there as well. And once you're done, you can set it aside. Oh, just kidding. You're not setting it aside now. You can give a little bit of curve and bending to the side pieces right there. That'll help you for later. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with this hair piece. This is going to be really tricky, so take your time here. This is just a speed lab, so that's why it's going so quickly. But again, take your time with this part because it's going to be really tricky if you don't do this right now. And don't forget about those little tabs in the center of the hair right there. Once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. And this is the trickiest part of the entire process, so pay attention, be very careful with this. You're gonna want to apply a lot of glue because that bit is supposed to stick to that bit right there. So apply a lot of glue to both places, the double tack technique, so that you can have that stay in place when you put it together. Because lordy knows, I've done this 4 times now. It is very difficult. This part is the most difficult of the entire process. Well, other than the ending. So you're gonna want to just see what I'm doing here, and the best technique is to hold it with your index and thumb. No matter how big your hands are, I feel like the index and thumb is the best, and mine came apart a little bit, but you're gonna see what it looks like in a moment here. So now you see, you can't let it go even for a moment. And after you're done with both sides, it should look something like this. Look at the 3-dimensionality of all. And my hands got very dirty and there's a lot of dust in the back, but no one's gonna see that. And we're gonna gently place it to the side to dry. Now we're gonna take this headpiece and we're gonna take the earpieces and the side pony and we're gonna be putting everything together. It's assembly time, baby, yes sir. So we're gonna wanna crease that earpiece now. You could have done this originally anyways, but I just did at this step to show you, but if you want to do it ahead of time, no problem at all there. You want to crease it in that orientation because we're going to want to stick it onto the, you can either stick it onto the head itself or you can stick it onto the hair. I personally prefer sticking it backwards onto the hair, just like that. It'll look like that when it's all completed. So firstly, you're going to want to get the correct ear and put it in the right place, not like what Kaifu's doing right now. Bad Kaifu, wrong! Yeah, there you go, Kaifu, there you go. So align the ears up really quickly and see where you're gonna want to glue it. It also helps sometimes if you bring the face up just to see how it'll look in the end. But after you've figured that out, apply glue to the back of that tab right there on the back side, because you're gonna want to stick it upwards and not downwards so it can stick to the hair. And make sure to align it pretty well. It doesn't need to be perfect, but align it pretty well. It's off screen, Kaifu, it's off screen, bring it back! There you go. As you can see, there's no white bits to be seen. You can bend it now, but you don't really want to, because if you bend it too hard, you might lift up your little tab. You're gonna want that to dry completely before you touch it. And now do the same thing on the other side. And once you're done, it should look something like so. And now you're gonna want to stick on your side ponytail. Today I'm sticking it onto the face piece. However, there's another option you can employ. You can put glue onto the rear side and then stick it onto the hair itself. I employed this technique for my past Kaifu prototypes and it worked fine, but today I'm using this technique. I'm gonna be real, this was honestly a little easier to work with, so I would recommend this method. However, if you want to try the other method, be my guest. Now it should be stuck on there, all sturdy like, but still a little wiggle room. And now it's full assembly time. First of all, we're gonna want to apply glue liberally on those little tabs you see over there. So apply it. I'm applying it on both sides because I completely forgot I was gonna do this one side at a time. You can apply glue right now, but it's not very necessary. Just apply to the one side. I would recommend working left first if you are right-handed and right first if you're left-handed. And then apply glue on where you're gonna stick it to as well. Next, we're gonna apply glue on that side tab over there. Again, just apply it on the orientation that you're working with first. I'm applying it on both sides and apply glue on that side over there because we're gonna be sticking it over there. Now we're gonna be wanting to stick glue onto this tab. And then sticking it onto the area that I showed you where we're gonna be gluing that little tab to, which is that bottom area right there. If Kaifu will put it on the screen! Kaifu! Yeah, there you go, Kaifu. Okay, yeah, right there at the bottom next to that little triangle tab over there. We're gonna be applying glue. There's a lot of glue. I hope you got your Elmer glue sticks ready. I'm using my Daiso glue. Now you're gonna want to stick it together. Again, employing that thumb and index finger technique. Your thumb and index finger are gonna be your best friends in this project. I don't know what you do with them on a regular basis, but I hope you treated them well because you're gonna need them a lot throughout this process. And I'm holding it in a weird way. Make sure to change your orientation just to help you with a better grip. As you can see there, yeah, I changed my orientation to hold it with my index, middle, and thumb. And now I'm wrapping it around so I can stick it like so. There you go. You see that right there? Beautiful, beautiful. Don't worry about the skin tabs just here. We're gonna get to that eventually. And don't forget to add more glue if you need it. And your final result should look something like this. Half of it is glued on. Those seams should be good. Again, don't worry about being perfect. Now, we're gonna grab our little hairpiece, and this is one of the more delicate parts of the process, so it's very important that you pay attention right now. This is how we're gonna stick it on. Those three bits on top, you're gonna wanna apply glue on there just normally so you can stick it onto the face. Now for the side hair tabs, you're actually going to want to stick it onto the Kaifu face tabs. So apply glue on the rear side and then stick it onto those tabs. When you're gluing it, make sure to hold it down like so and check your underside just to make sure everything is glued down. And what's important is you glue those side tabs as soon as possible because the tension will cause the hairpiece to pop up. So you're gonna want to relax that bit as much as possible. And after you're done, you should have something that looks like that, very three-dimensional. And now we're gonna want to assemble everything together. So here I'm just showing you how it's supposed to look like. You're gonna want to stick that inside tab there, and then that tab there, and all the tabs should be hidden at this point, and you're gonna make a Kaifu ball of head of ball of head thing. And now you're gonna want to crease over your ears finally to get them out of the way and to make it look pretty in the final project. Next, you'll want to apply glue everywhere that needs it. Make sure to give a generous, liberal amount of glue everywhere on all of the tabs. You can reapply glue later. I recommend applying glue everywhere now because hopefully there'll be still a little bit of tackiness when you get to it when you're folding everything together. So again, generous amount of glue, apply it everywhere. Now we're gonna start folding it together, starting with the bottom bit. Again, you can do it however you want. This is just how Kaifu's doing it. If you have a better technique, feel free to employ it, but this is how I'm doing it and how I'm teaching you. And again, reapply glue if you need it. And after a lot of struggling off screen, this is how I got it. And now we're applying glue everywhere else to finish up this last bit of head. However, I had a little bit of a printing error, so it doesn't fit perfectly. But it's okay, I will employ some dark magic just to fix that. And with that, we're done. Yay, we have a little Kaifu head and it looks so cute. Make sure to fold the ears over a little bit and some things will pop out. That's just an inevitability if you're like me and you don't apply enough glue. Guys, glue is so important, please. But it's okay. These imperfections, only you will know when you display it. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna know. Now we're finally gonna glue the head onto the body. Before we apply any glue though, I'd like to place the head on top of the torso just to find the center of gravity. And voila! As you can see, I did it! Yeah! That's okay, we try again, we persevere. And once we found that placement, just tilt it over. You can either mark it with a line now for where you need a glue, or you can be like me, just guesstimate. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's about the place where I need to glue it. So now we're employing the double check technique. Once again, just apply a generous liberal amount of glue. As you can see, it is so glossy and glistening and wet and moist on the head. I'm sorry, I apologize. And now we're gonna want to stick it on, and the Kaifu should balance. And you can even swivel the head if you want. Just make sure to find that center of gravity once more. And there you have it, your very own little Kaifu that you can admire. Wahoo! Yeah, and if you make a lot, you can create a whole cult of Kaifus. Gremlins ride! And that's it. I hope you enjoyed making your little paper craft Kaifu. Treat it gently, give it lots of walkies, feed it lots of yummy food, especially yams. I don't even like yams that much. I don't know why I said yams. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. And once again, happy holidays, everybody. I hope you had fun. And I'll see you next time, whenever that is. See you. No, happy New Year if you're watching this after the New Year. Hi. It's a few days until the New Year. What the frick? What do you mean 2026 is coming soon? Anyways, to wrap this video up, if you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe. I want to do a lot more crafty or artsy projects in the future. If you liked my drawing, feel free to check out this video on the left. It's some more of my drawing, and if drawing ASMR is more up your speed, you can check out the video on the right. Alrighty, that's it. Have fun. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all the holidays. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.